Yo guys, I'm Niek from the Produce School and welcome back to a brand new video. In this series we are finishing a full deep house track, and in the previous episode Niek already worked on the drop, which sounds like this.
Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but
If you didn't see that video, you can check it out right here. As you can hear, the sound is really inspired by the deep selected style. In this episode we're going to create the breakdown for this track, and we're also going to do that in the selected kind of deep house style. Also make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and you can also check out our new deep house pack Vision, which contains a lot of sounds that we're going to be utilizing in this series. So we're starting out with a piano. I'm going to use the original felt piano, which sounds a bit like this. I'm going to turn up the volume a bit, and then I'm going to copy the bass notes from the second part of the drop into this piano. I'm going to remove the rhythm so we get like 4 separate notes. Then I will select them all and hit Ctrl L, which will make them longer automatically. And then the last one we need to do that manually because somehow FL Studio doesn't make that longer. What we have now sounds like this. I'm going to copy the bass notes and I'm just going to put it 1 octave higher. And from there I want to create some chords from this. The chord progression can be really easy, and what I like to do is I just want to check if we need a minor or a major, and from there you can just like build your chords. Perhaps to glue the chords together a bit more, we can use a chord inversion on the last 2 chords and put this 1 octave higher, and that sounds like. We can copy it and make a little change in the second part. Alright, that sounds pretty nice. Let's copy the bass notes and put them 1 octave lower as well to add some bass to this piano. We're going to filter out the bass, but still if you add those notes it will add a bit more character to your sound. As you can see, this piano doesn't really contain that much high frequencies, so I guess we're going to take a synth with a bit more high frequencies as well later on. But right now we just have this sound. I see it's pretty loud, so let's turn this down a little bit. Alright, so we have a good starting point to start with the breakdown. Let's just put these chords right here. What I first want to do is take a kind of bass and create a sort of pre-breakdown with just a bass and some vocal effects, so I'm going to do that first. We have some pretty cool Reese basses in the pack. Bass Medusa is one of my favorites, that's why I already know it, so I think I'm just going to stick to that one. Let's copy the bass notes and put it a bit higher. I just added this EQ, which gets rid of some of the highs and boosts some of the mid frequencies. and then I want to add a OTT with just a tiny bit of depth, just to add a bit of crispiness to the sound. Now I'm going to open up another EQ and I'm going to select the 20 Hz plus 80 kHz cut, and then I'm going to automate the low frequencies. In the beginning of the break I want less low frequencies, and then it slowly needs to come in towards the break. So something like this. Perhaps a bit less. Just makes the transition a little bit better, and it also creates a bit more variety into the break. Let's search for a little perk in Vision that we can use in this bar. Let's search for one. Let's use this one, and then we're going to add an EQ to it so it sounds filtered, and then we want some reverb so we can push it a bit more to the back of your mix. Also make sure that those kind of percussions are not too loud, because you really want to push it towards the back of your mix and you don't want it to take the space that your main elements want to take. Let's move on with some vocal effects. So we're going to use the same vocal as in the drop, and then we're going to use little parts of it and mix it a bit different with distortion, delay and reverb, just so we can get creative with it. First, let's make this one unique, so we have a new copy of this sound to work with. So let's assign it to a new mixer track as well. And I guess that we just want to start out with a radio preset in the Fruity Paramedic EQ2. This is really something I do a lot when I want these kind of vocals. I just start with the radio preset, and from there on I start with some compression, delay, distortion, all that kind of stuff that can change up the sound.
Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending?
You can just use short bits of a vocal and then just add a lot of effects, which we're going to do right now. Let's start with a fruity delay, also with the peak controller once again. Let's link it to the controller, select peak, invert it.
Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending?
Let's pull down the level a bit and pull down the cutoff as well.
Can we stop pretending? 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 Can we stop pretending?
I think it's pretty nice to make the delay a bit filtered, so it just sounds a bit different than the original sound. Let's now put a reverb. On this one we want a bit less dry as well, and a bit more decay.
Can we stop pretending? 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 Can we stop pretending?
Alright, so that's it for this vocal FX. It's pretty simple, but it's just really effective in this kind of tracks. Let's now add some FX like ambient or some down filters, just to fill up the space a little bit more. So I'm here in the atmosphere folder of Vision, and I just came across this one, the atmosphere 8, and I think we're going to use this one. So I'm going to make sure that the sound is in key. So I think.
Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending?
It's pretty cool. Let's continue with this. Alright, so let's move on to some drums in this part of the break. And I'm going to start with a drum loop just to get the groove going. Let's use that one. Make sure it fits to the tempo. I also want to add a clap, so let's search for one. Something like this could work. Wait, we also use that in the drop, so let's make it unique. Just select it and then Ctrl B, so you can just duplicate it like this. Perhaps we can add a tiny reverb to it. Alright, so let's add a bit more FX to this part. Let's go to the down filter or impact folder. Perhaps we can use an impact. This one will work. It also has the pre-sweep to it, so it just sucks you into the break.
Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending? Can we stop?
Perhaps you can move this to here and use something like this.
Can we stop pretending? 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 Can we stop pretending like no one has seen?
Alright, so let's move on with the vocal. In this part I just want the normal vocal to be playing, so I'm going to make it unique once again.
No one has seen. Can we stop pretending like no one has seen? Can we stop pretending like no one has seen?
Perhaps we need to turn down the synths a little.
No one has seen. Can we stop pretending like no one has seen? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep.
Let's start by adding an EQ to the vocal.
No one has seen. Can we stop pretending like no one has seen? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep. like no one has to see. I don't know about you, but
The vocal already sounds pretty full, so I don't think that we need to do that much on this vocal. But we can add a short reverb and a delay, which will fill up some empty spaces.
can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep. Can we stop?
Once again, the P controller trick.
Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? Can we stop? Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep.
Alright, it sounds pretty nice already. Let's duplicate this layer and do some form and shifting to it. Let's duplicate the effects we used on the previous one. Make it a bit more filtered. And then we can add a little altar boy for some form and shifting.
Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep.
Sounds quite robotic, but on top of the other vocal it can work pretty well.
Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep.
Alright, so let's copy the chords already. Bit too plucky. Bit too experimental. Okay. This could work as well. But to be honest, this perhaps sounds the best.
No one has to see. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm no one has to see.
Get rid of all the lows if you don't want it to interfere with your bass.
No one has to see. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see? I don't know about you, but I'm falling so deep. Can we stop pretending like no one has to see?
Let's finish up this part with some more effects, and then I think we are already almost done. Something like this could work, just for some variety.
No one has to see. No one has to see. No one has to see. Can we stop?
And perhaps you want a short uplifter between the first and second part of the break. You can use that one.
Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending like no one has seen? No one has seen. No one has. No one has seen. No one has seen. Can we stop pretending like no one has seen?
So the last thing I want to do is create a cutoff automation on the bass, and for that I'm going to use the filter inside Serum. So we have the automation right here, and then we can change it up a bit in the transition parts, like this. Alright, so I think that's it for this episode. I'm just going to play the break one more time for you guys so you can hear what we came up with today.
Can we stop pretending?
guys have any suggestions for the track, just let us know in the comments, and perhaps we can do that in the next episodes. As you can see, all the sounds we used in this project so far are from our new pack Vision. So if you haven't checked that out yet, click here and you can check it out on our website. For now, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.